There's one last way that we're going to talk about tech being changed or modified, and that's through the natural process of evolution. Technology is susceptible to that too. How does survival of the fittest apply to tools and techniques? Well, because technology is passed from generation to generation, and some technology actually physically changes, there's always going to be slight differences. That's the mutation aspect of evolution. Not all mutations are good. If I know how to make a hammer, and I teach you, but you make the hammers frail and they break very often, well, you're probably not going to keep that technology. If I die, the knowledge is lost with me, and hammers cease to be. Okay, maybe hammers aren't going to cease to be. They're a simple technology that anyone could probably invent. But there are technologies and techniques that are lost to time as people pass away with skill sets that take decades to master. New people just didn't learn them, or just didn't learn them in the same way, and throughout generations, the technology changes to a point where it's unrecognizable from the start. That's just a divergence. Or maybe in the case where I teach you how to make a hammer, and you put the little tong things on the back that can pull out nails, well, maybe you decide that for your purposes, because you're into construction and I was using hammers more for smashing coconuts open, you're only going to make hammers that have the little tongs on the back. The technology evolved into a whole different species, if you will. Let's think of techniques. The way that one person does something is going to be very unique. They have their own flair. They have what feels right in their body. If they teach somebody else how to do the same technique, the new person is going to have their own style to it. And over time, the styles are going to diverge. There'll be multiple branches. Everything is going to feel different from person to person. Everyone's going to have their own style, what their body can do. Whether it be fighting styles diverging over time, singing styles, because everyone sings differently. Maybe a sport, a different way to throw a ball. There's a lot of technique-only technologies, nothing physical about it, that will differ greatly from person to person. Technology overall is a complex system, and I think any complex system has opportunities to evolve in some way. All it takes is selective pressures, and that's sort of like what we're talking about when we're improving tech. We have some metric. That's the selective pressure. Something that performs towards a metric better is going to be kept. It's going to be refined more specifically. And technology that doesn't improve in the right ways will be left by the wayside. Now, of course, the way things evolve isn't always for the better. And the metrics that are chosen for survival or for fitness aren't always going to stay the same. Some things evolve in a unsustainable way, and then even though they were efficient, they're reverted. Or, we're stuck with a bunch of bad technologies that pollute the earth. Lastly, thinking about that, the earth is changing constantly. Certain herbs, certain types of wood, certain types of metal change. They're gone. The very materials that we try to make our tools from are gone. How do we cope with that? Well, the technology has to evolve with what natural resources are available. It's not just our technology that's going to evolve. I'm happy to think that our understanding of technology is evolving too. And let's just make sure it's for the better.